Okay, guys, I'll probably be speaking a little bit softer. Still not feeling well. Struggling to avoid coughing, as you'll probably find out once I finally make it back into the classroom. But anyways, I want you guys tomorrow without me to get started on reintroducing yourself to SOHCAHTOA. And if you've never done it before, please make sure you watch this video even twice. Just ask the sub-teacher to play it again, okay? And of course, it'll also be in your Google Classroom. But anyways, let's get started here. So, the first thing I want us to make sure we're good with is using our calculator. Very important. So, this, of course, is a graphing calculator, but even my class set, you always have that shift or second button on the top left corner of your button setup, right? And if you go catty corner down towards the right, you should see sine, cosine, and tangent. And that's what you're going to need to practice and use. And that's what I want you to do. And you can learn this without me and help each other out if you need to. But basically, if you ever want to do sine, or as we say, sin, you're going to just press that button. If you want cosine, cos, you're going to press that button. And of course, that button's for tan. Now, in the second video I'm going to make after this one, we're going to do inverses to find missing angles. So that means you have to press the second button and then press sine to get sine inverse. And if you look right above there, follow the red, see that little -1 right there means inverse. It does not mean reciprocal like a normal negative power means. So that's sine inverse. And second cosine would give me cosine inverse. Second tangent will give me tangent inverse. Okay? But anyways, let's get back to the actual video here. So how do we do the tangent of 79? We're simply going to press the tangent button, and we're going to type in 79. Okay? Likewise, we're going to type in cosine 30 degrees when we want to do cosine 30 degrees. Okay? And here should have been your results. The tangent of 79 degrees is 5.1445. The cosine of 30 is 0.8660. And so that's one thing I hope you learn, is knowing how to do sine, cosine, tangent on your calculator. Okay. So the other thing is, what is SOHCAHTOA? Well, there's a phrase that'll help you remember it. Some old hippie caught another hippie. So sorry I got interrupted with a phone call, but what does SOHCAHTOA, or easy way to do SOHCAHTOA again, is some old hippie caught another hippie tripping over apples. And that helps you spell SOHCAHTOA. Now, what's the point of SOHCAHTOA? Is so stands for sine equals the opposite side over the hypotenuse side. It's a ratio that you literally have to memorize. What about caught another hippie, or ka? That tells me that cosine is the adjacent side. That's the side next to the angle over hypotenuse. And toa, tripping over apples, tells me that tangent is opposite side of the angle over the adjacent side of the angle, the side next to it. Now I'm going to show you briefly how this actually works. But pause the video if you want to make this in the notes, of course. So, anyways, notice this time we're trying to figure out what the cosine of theta is. Step 1, you're going to mark your angle theta. That's always step 1. Know where your angle is. Step 2, you're going to label the sides based upon that angle. So notice how the 20 is on the other side of theta. This is what we refer to as the opposite side. And notice how the 15 is right next to the angle. This is what we refer to as the adjacent side. Now 25, notice, is also adjacent to theta, but 25 is also the longest side. Look at the numbers. Do you agree that's the longest side? That, of course, is what we should know as a hypotenuse. So, if we go back to cot another hippie for cosine, we know, quite simply, that the cosine of theta is going to be the adjacent side. What's the adjacent side again? 15 over the hypotenuse, which is 25. Now, the only thing wrong with our answer, make sure it's simplified. I'm going to reduce by dividing by 5. Okay? And I get 3 over 5. So the cosine of theta is 3/5, and that's all you have to do on that part of the worksheet is set up these trig ratios. Okay, let's do one more. This one, they're asking for the sine of theta. Well, remember, sine is some old hippie. Some old hippie, right? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so we now know that the sine of theta is going to equal, getting ahead of myself here, step 1, we label or mark our theta angle right there. Got to know where that angle is. Step 2, always label your sides. Again, notice how 11 is on the opposite side. 22, if you look at it, is the longest side. That's the hypotenuse. And 11 square root of 3, notice, is right next to theta. That's the adjacent side. So mark the angle, label your sides. If you don't get in the habit of doing this, you're going to screw this up a lot. And now we can do the sine of theta. The sine of theta, again, is the opposite, which is 11, over the hypotenuse, which is 22. Again, let's reduce this. I'm going to divide by 11. Top and bottom, 1/2. So the sine of theta, I know, is 1/2. Ooh, I'm breaking out in sweat just doing this video for you guys. All right, so guys, that's basically a nice intro to SOHCAHTOA. Again, this is a video you should watch more than once, including in class time when I'm sick tomorrow. Okay? And so I'm going to try to be there the following day, guys. And hopefully my cough won't be so bad. I'll see you then.